All right, let's just jump right into it. We need to talk about an app that's on pretty much every single smartphone in India. You know the one. But here's the thing. Something's changing. The app we've all come to rely on is starting to feel, well, a little bit different. And that shift, it's cracking the door open for a homegrown challenger to take on one of the biggest messaging apps on the entire planet.
Does this sound familiar? I mean, this quote just hits the nail on the head for what millions of us are feeling about WhatsApp. Remember when it was just a simple, clean way to talk to your friends and family? Now, it's a constant flood of spammy forwards, promotional junk, and oh yeah, those scam calls. That clean, intimate feeling, it's pretty much gone.
And this isn't just about being annoyed. It has very real, very serious consequences. Get this, in just the first 3 months of 2024, Indians filed over 43,000 cybercrime complaints directly related to WhatsApp scams. People aren't just tired of it, they're exhausted, and they're starting to look for a way out.
Which of course brings us to the big question. Is there actually a way to escape this mess without completely losing touch with everyone you know? I mean, can anyone really challenge the biggest messaging app in the world? Well, this is where our story gets interesting.
First things first, we have to truly appreciate the sheer scale of the giant in this story. We're talking about Goliath here. WhatsApp isn't just some popular app in India. You could argue it's a core piece of the country's entire digital infrastructure. Its dominance is, well, it's almost absolute. Just try to wrap your head around this number. 850 million. That's how many people in India are actively using WhatsApp. It is a gigantic, almost incomprehensible number of people, all connected on a single foreign-owned app.
And to put that number into perspective, if WhatsApp's Indian users decided to form their own country, it would be more than twice the size of the United States. And that is the source of its incredible power. It's what we call the network effect. Everyone's on it because everyone else is on it. It's a tough cycle to break.
But now, a challenger has stepped into the ring. Our David, if you will. And it's not your typical flashy, venture-backed startup. This is Arratai, an app built by Zoho, a Chennai-based software giant that plays by a very, very different set of rules.
And this challenger didn't just show up. It arrived with a massive bang. Fueled by all that user frustration with WhatsApp, Arratai went from about 3,000 signups a day to over 2 million in less than a week. That is an almost 700-fold jump. It's a huge signal that people are actively, desperately looking for something new.
You know, the company behind Arratai, Zoho, is basically the polar opposite of a typical Silicon Valley giant. It's bootstrapped, meaning no venture capital, it's debt-free, and it's been quietly building profitable software for decades. It has this deeply Indian DNA, and that's absolutely central to its whole strategy. This isn't just another app, it's a statement.
So how in the world does Arratai plan to compete? It's not with flashier features or cooler stickers. Nope. Its secret weapon is a powerful idea, an idea that is gaining huge traction at the national level. That idea is data sovereignty.
Okay, data sovereignty sounds a bit academic, right? But it's actually a pretty simple concept. It just means that your data and your country's data should be stored and protected within your country's borders, under your country's laws. Arratai is promising to keep all user data right here in India, and that promise is really starting to resonate with people.
And this is no longer just some techie buzzword. It's actually becoming national policy. The Indian government is actively pushing laws like the Digital Personal Data Protection Act. And just think about it for a second. In a time of rising geopolitical tension, does it really seem wise for a country of over 1 billion people to have its main communication channel controlled by a foreign company? That is a huge strategic vulnerability.
But here's where we need a little reality check. A great idea and perfect timing, that's fantastic. But taking on a giant with 850 million users, that is a monumental, almost impossible task. And you know what? We've seen this movie play out before.
To really understand the mountain Arratai has to climb, we need to talk about Hike Messenger. For a while, it was India's most famous homegrown messaging app, and its story serves as a very powerful, very important warning. See, on paper, Hike did everything right. It raised hundreds of millions of dollars, it built cool features, and it even peaked at an incredible 100 million users. But it couldn't keep them. People would sign up, play around with it, but for their day-to-day chats, they went right back to where everyone else was.
And that was the killer. The core problem was that WhatsApp's network effect was just too strong to overcome. It didn't matter how good Hike was, because your family, your friends, and your office groups were all still on WhatsApp. And the convenience of having every single person in one place was simply unbeatable. This is the exact same wall that Arratai is now trying to climb.
So, this all brings us to the final showdown. Arratai has the timing, the user frustration, and national policy on its side, things Hike never really had. But is that going to be enough to overcome the fundamental challenge that crushed its predecessor? This table really breaks it all down, doesn't it? WhatsApp has the unbreakable network, but it's dealing with some serious user fatigue. Arratai has all this momentum and a really powerful story, but it has to build a product that isn't just good, it has to be so seamless that switching over feels totally effortless. That's a tall order.
Honestly, the task ahead for Zoho is truly Herculean. The user experience has to be perfect. If it takes 3 taps to do something that WhatsApp does in 1, people just won't switch. And they have to learn from WhatsApp's mistakes and figure out how to eventually make money without turning their own app into another spam-filled mess.
Look, Arratai is not going to dethrone WhatsApp overnight. Let's be clear about that. But for the first time in a long time, a challenger has a real, credible shot because it has the right idea at exactly the right time. So the question isn't just whether one app can beat another. It's bigger than that. It's whether India is on the verge of finally building its own secure, sovereign messaging future. What do you think?